Welcome back to CBS Mornings. Any parent of a teen or a tween can tell you how much their children love watching TikTok. The video sharing site says it has 1 billion users every single month, and a lot of those users are kids. The Pew Research Center says half of American adults under 30 also use TikTok. Not just dance videos anymore. It's involved into a site that covers all parts of life, everything from recipes to clothing to trending challenges. And with other social media apps getting a lot of attention right now for their impact on teens' mental health, we wanted to take a closer look at TikTok. Aren't you the guy who tried to? If the video sharing platform TikTok was a person, it would only be in kindergarten.
Today I'm making the viral feta cheese and tomato pasta.
But in just 5 short years since its launch in 2016, the Chinese-born app has exploded in popularity. According to the company, more than 1 billion users sign on to scroll monthly. TikTok's terms and conditions require users to be at least 13, but the company admits it has removed millions of accounts suspected to be under that age. So what is TikTok showing our children? Earlier this year, the Wall Street Journal programmed dozens of bots registered as 13 to 15-year-olds to see what videos the app's algorithms would show them. The result? Hundreds of videos about drug use, eating disorders, and porn site recommendations. And despite thousands of videos labeled as for adults only, the Wall Street Journal's teenage bots still found them, meaning they could have landed in front of the eyes of real children. There are also concerns about overuse, something Nate talked about with his 11-year-old daughter, Mia.
I feel like at one point you were addicted to TikTok.
Yeah.
Do you think you were?
Definitely. There's no doubt.
And when Nate asked Mia how often she uses the app, he said her answer was eye-opening.
Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
About more than 8 hours a day, probably.
8 hours a day.
Yeah.
When you don't find anything on it, you'll still want to look for things that'll make you happy.
TikTok told the Wall Street Journal protecting minors is vitally important, and TikTok has taken industry-first steps to promote a safe and age-appropriate experience for teens, close quote. Michael Beckerman, TikTok's head of public policy for North America, is here with us now to talk more about all of this. Michael, thank you for being here. We just heard Nate's daughter say she uses TikTok for 8 hours a day, which sounds like a pretty big number to me. And I think we should start there with the overarching question of how TikTok can make an experience that is dependent on taking more and more and more of our children's attention and do it ethically.
It's a great question. TikTok is about entertainment and bringing joy. We put a premium on authentic content, uplifting content. But like all entertainment, you want to watch with moderation, and we put tools in place, take a break videos, screen time management, and tools for parents like family pairing to make sure that they can have conversations and do what's right for their family and their teenagers.
So we should talk about some of those tools, but I want to pause for a second to bring in the China component of this. I know there's a lot of misinformation about TikTok in China, but the one thing that is very interesting to American parents is the fact that TikTok's version in China, owned by your parent company, ByteDance, same logo, many of the same features, they have voluntarily capped use for 14 and under kids at 40 minutes per day, no overnight use, and by the way, all the content is going to be educational, according to the company. If that's what they're doing over there, why is the experience so different for our kids?
Well, first off, TikTok is not available in China, and so I can't speak necessarily to
the same logo, same platform. It's over there with your company. They have a different policy for their kids. Why do our kids get exposed to the whole?
Yeah, TikTok is completely separate from that, and they have different regulations and rules in China they do in the U.S. But here, we do have an age-appropriate experience. We have the tools in place to have let parents decide how much time they want their teenagers to spend. We give the nudge on taking a break. But it's something that we're talking to policymakers on. It's important that apps have age-appropriate experience, and we have certain tools, actually, that are not available for younger teenagers. Direct messaging, for example, is something that's very popular with teenagers, but also it's an area that bad things can happen within direct messages. So on TikTok, if you're under 16, there's no direct messaging at all. And so we've proactively put a lot of these things in place to ensure a safer experience on the app.
So TikTok's sister company is radically limiting what 14-year-olds can do, and you're considering the same here. That's interesting on its face.
I have to say, when I hear a social media company say that we're nudging people to get off the product or to use it less, I think to myself, what other companies ask customers, maybe you want to do this less? And the other companies are gambling companies, maybe tobacco companies, maybe alcohol companies, what we call vice industries. What does it say about social media that you're also asking people, hey, maybe you should do this less?
Well, I think that's a false comparison. This is entertainment. You know, just like watching TV or the radio or Netflix or anything else, you should watch in moderation. We're just trying to be responsible, and we're trying to learn as well. We've invested in Boston Children's Hospital, helping them put together a digital wellness lab to hear from experts on what are the things that can be healthy for teenagers. And we're implementing that proactively.
Watch with moderation and watch responsibly is almost identical to what the alcohol industry says. Just saying.
It's not it's not the same thing. It's an entertainment platform, and again, like CBS, you have a lot of great programming, but you don't want people to watch all day either.
Well, we kind of do. But
Social media can be addictive, but I quickly want you to explain and define algorithm before I get to my question, because that word is thrown around a lot, and parents don't know what it means.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's something that shouldn't be scary. And for us, actually, we've been leaning into transparency about how the algorithm, which is the For You feed that decides what videos that you're seeing in your feed, to have transparency with policymakers and regulators and anybody that's interested in knowing how that works. For us, it's interest-based. And so we're a little bit different than the typical social media companies that are based on who you know and those social interactions. This is based on the entertainment and what you're watching in the app. And so as you're seeing videos and you're engaging with those videos, the things that you find more joyful and interesting and fun and you share with your friends and you like, you'll get more of that.
Okay, so with that said, I understand that concept. I could walk into my daughter's room and I could see her smiling. She's having a great experience on the app. But what if there's a day where my daughter doesn't feel good about herself? She has a bad day at school. She is second-guessing how she looks. Her self-esteem is damaged, and she falls into this vortex. Will the algorithm start to send her videos that takes her deeper and deeper and deeper into maybe even a depression?
as long as she's interested, will it take her there?
So a difference also on TikTok is it's about a diversity of content. And so we look to have a lot of different kinds of sources of information. So you're not just getting into one thing, but also we have ways, if you're not interested in something, you want to see less. But also, look, it starts with a conversation. You can't just think that you're not going to talk to your teenager and everything's going to be okay, whether they're online or offline.
For sure.
It starts with conversations. And we have a guide on our website. We worked with the Parent Teacher Association and others to what can you do to facilitate those conversations? And one of the things you can do is start by watching content with your teenager or even filming videos with them.
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen so much of during the pandemic, of parents coming together with their teenagers, and that's a good way to start a conversation.
And really quickly, if I could, my daughter's 7. All of her little friends have TikTok. I took it off because she kept going in, and I showed her, you have to be 13. So you're lying about your age so that you can watch the videos. It makes her incredibly happy to see people dancing and having fun. But then she was following people that were not age appropriate. So are you guys at a point where you're looking at that other group? We started off talking about teens and tweens, but clearly you're talking 7, 8, 9-year-olds that are on your platform.
Yeah, we have an experience for younger users, under 13 experience, where you can't post videos, it's all private.
But they want that other experience. They want to be able to post.
But it's important also for parents to make sure that their teenagers are having an age-appropriate experience, and we have that. The videos are all curated with common sense networks, and we want to have a fun experience for everybody.
I have to throw this out there. I trust TikTok when my daughter is on it. That's because I'm very active in what she watches. I don't want you to feel like you're being attacked, but there are questions as a father that I'm concerned about, and I appreciate you answering them.
Yeah, we're pumped
honestly.
that you're here, and I love that takeaway. Please scroll responsibly. TikTok. Michael Beckerman, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate
you
it.
being on. Please come back, too. This is a good conversation. I want to keep going.
Absolutely.
Really
Thank
do.
you.